Good morning. Today is Wednesday, and that means it's time for this week's market update. Today, we'll be looking at February's closed prices versus list prices by region of Whatcom County. So let's take a look at this chart. This is showing these specific areas. Some of them are MLS areas as groupings like Maple Falls, Glacier, and Kendall. Some of them are specific cities like Linden or Ferndale. But this is giving us an overview of how high over the list price the median house was selling over the course of February. And I also include the specific data and the notes about how many sales were even involved in that situation. Obviously, Bellingham is the biggest individual market in our county with 59 sales versus Ferndale having 19, Linden 11, and so on. Here we can see the difference between the median list price and the median close prices. And again, it's no surprise that Bellingham has our largest gap between those two prices with an increase of 6.4% over the original list price. Everson and Deming came in right about level, and Sudden Valley was right about level as well. What's interesting, though, to note, as is the case with any data set or data pool, is that especially in the smaller markets, any individual sale can kind of shift that median pretty significantly. So, for example, in Sudden Valley, there were 4 closings in the single family residential market over the course of February, and 2 of the houses closed at significantly over the original list price, and 2 of the houses closed either just under or a fair number amount under the original list price of that particular house. Whereas in Bellingham, we see the reverse. We see that in this large of a pool of data, the story is also a little bit muted because we're working with median prices. Over the course of those 59 sales, there were some houses that would have closed at $100,000 over asking, and other houses that closed at $5,000 under asking for whatever reason once someone negotiated an inspection or potentially even a low appraisal. This just goes to give an overview of what markets are hot right now, what markets where the list price hasn't quite caught up to what buyers are willing to pay for those properties. But it also reminds us that in any given listing situation or buyer situation, it's great to chat with the listing agents of the pending properties nearby and get an idea of what's been going on as far as activity, the number of offers, and if they're willing to share it, at what price point that home pended at, to get a really good, solid, of the moment reflection of what's happening in the market right now, not just with last month's numbers. And that was this week's market update, or it would be this week's market update in total if I didn't have a couple of thoughts to share. Today is the 50th weekly market update, and some of you have been with this show ever since the very beginning when we were sitting in an unair conditioned attic every Monday morning. I had really long hair, and we had a pre scripted show recorded every Monday morning and broadcast on Tuesdays, actually. It was this last June that we moved to this studio and moved to a live stream format where I can talk with you directly and get this data out to you right away. And so, whether or not you joined right from the beginning and saw our tablecloth hung in the background at our original set, or you've just joined this show recently, I so appreciate your listening ears and you tuning in every Wednesday morning. And that was this week's market update, and I'll see you next time.